Good evening and live from Pittsburgh. It's time once again for the action and excitement of the United States Basketball Association right here on the wide, wide world of tabletop sports. Good evening, everybody. Brian Martin with you on a beautiful Tuesday evening here in Pittsburgh. It'll be the 1-1 Brooklyn Kings taking on the 1-0 Pittsburgh Blast. Brooklyn coming off a split of their home-and-home series with Philadelphia. They lost the opener, or they won the opener 110-102 in Philadelphia, turned around and lost the second game by the final count of 129-125 in double overtime, a thrilling game that we were unfortunately not able to bring you on the wide, wide world of tabletop sports. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, coming off a 123-99 win over Cleveland. They stand along with Baltimore at the top, or with Detroit at the top of the USBA schedule here early on in the season. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by PlayGames.com. The guards for Brooklyn are Sherman Holmes and Gilbert English. The forwards are Chester Poole and Oliver Smith. The center is Jonathan Brown, and the head coach of the Brooklyn Kings is Rocky Feathers. For the homestanding Pittsburgh Blast, their guards are Cedric Townsend and Nolan Moyer. The forwards are Jordan Collins and Marshall Sampson. The center is Sean Foster, and the head coach of the Blast is Stan Wojcik. We've failed to shuffle the cards prior to the establishment of the four decks of cards that we have here, so we're in a minor pre-game delay. There's a ceremony going down on the court. At least that's what we're saying, and story, and we're sticking with it. A reminder here in the USBA, there is no quarter scoring system. We will be using the one card final minute system from the rule book, and not using the final minute, the longer final minute segment. 3-point shots that are made from the shot column will grant an additional free throw, and then we track those separately just as a highlight point. So far this season, we've only had one 3-point shot made. They don't happen that often. It's a quirky little house rule that I have. I just happen to like it. It works for me, and if it works for me, then my league will be just fine. Getting ready here, get the last cards to deal out, and at the end, maybe I'll show you how I do that for something that you might want to try yourself in terms of helping to additionally randomize the cards after the shuffle. There's the opening quarter. Here we go with the opening tip. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's play some basketball. And the first card is a big. Sherman Holmes has big underlined, as does Jordan Collins. The tiebreaker goes to the home team. That's a 3-point basket. So what we do is we give Pittsburgh a free throw. We mark a red cube here next to the 1 to remind us that they have one free throw. 1 point on the scoring track. Lightning comes to Pittsburgh, and Brooklyn shifts over for the next card. It's a ref look and 1 to the trailing team. So Brooklyn will score. They'll get Lightning. They'll 11-24 on the free throw. It's a 25, makes it, so they make a free throw. And then remember, after free throws, whether it's on an and 1 or a regular 2-shot foul, the players rotate out regardless of how the card was scored. But the and 1 gives Lightning to Brooklyn as we go to the next card. A visitor with offense reach. Oliver Smith has it. He does score, but it's not underlined. So only one track point at that point. Visitor with defense smart. He has it. It's a turnover. It's not underlined. And so there is no score. Both players rotate out, and Lightning is lost. And it's an and 1 with a ref look. There's a burst for Pittsburgh, a blank for Brooklyn. Brooklyn gets the and 1, so they get a basket. They get Lightning, and they get to roll a free throw on the 11-23 for the blank. 36 is the number. That's a free throw. Second free throw of the quarter, and the players rotate over, but Lightning is on the side of Brooklyn, and Lightning symbol with a yes, no. He doesn't have a yes symbol. We flip it over. When it failed Lightning for the offense goes to the defense, that becomes a Lightning symbol that gives Pittsburgh a chance to look at leap, which they do have. There's no deny symbol, so they score instead. Lightning comes over to Pittsburgh, and Brooklyn rotates out. It's a wow on the hoop cam. Sherman Holmes has a wow. So does Sean Foster. It is to the trailing team, which happens to be Pittsburgh. They score again. And Baltimore, Brooklyn rotates out. Arc, it's in Lightning, so we're only looking at Pittsburgh. He does not have Arc, so we flip the card over. We're only looking at Brooklyn for a push. He doesn't have it, so neither player has it. It's no different than a non-scoring card. Lightning is lost. It's a ref look, 2 shots, and a referee warning. Will discard this last fact. The ref look is a circle star for Pittsburgh and a blank. Circle star takes it 11-21. Rolls a 23 and a 55. 2 free throws in that sequence, and both players rotate out as the quarter comes to an end. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, so no scoring adjustment here. Brooklyn has 3 track points and 2 free throws. Pittsburgh has 3 track points and 3 free throws. 3 and 3 on the mid-high scoring table. 7, so it is 30-29 in favor of Pittsburgh at the end of the first quarter, as the Blast looking to go to 2-0 on the season. They're both tied, so they both increase their scoring cap to 8. We remove these cards. The players are ready to go for quarter number 2. Here in Pittsburgh, again on a beautiful Tuesday night. Snag. Cedric Townsend has snag, but Gilbert English does not, so basket or track point for Pittsburgh. Brooklyn rotates around. Home with defense Quick. He has a star Quick. It's stolen, but it's not underlined, so neither player scores. Both players rotate, and Lightning has been lost. And there's a leap symbol. Sherman Holmes has it. Marshall Sampson has it, but it goes to the trailing team. However, it's a deny symbol, so Sampson will deny on a roll of 3 or 4. Sampson rolls a 3. It's underlined, so not only does he deny, he creates a defensive transition bucket the other way, and Lightning goes to Pittsburgh while Brooklyn rotates a player around. Chester Poole now on the floor for Brooklyn. Visitor with offense power. He doesn't have it, but this is one of those missed offensive chance. No one scores. Lightning is lost. Home player. Defensive spark. He has a star spark, so it's stolen, but it's not underlined, so no score. And both players rotate yet again. Home player with defense skill. He has skill, but it's not underlined, so once again, rotate around as we have another scoreless sequence. Visitor player with offense smart. He doesn't have it, but again, it is another ball thrown away, and so we keep going as a long dry spell here. Visitor with defense skill. Holmes has it. It's stolen, but it's not underlined, and so we rotate again. This is one of those things that can happen. And a timeout now, as Stan Wojcik, the Pittsburgh coach, has decided he's seen enough and wants to hopefully energize his ball club a little bit. Elijah Lewis is into the ball game. He'll roll 11-31 as an energize. He rolls a 14, energize, gets the basket, extends the lead, gives them Lightning, and the rotation goes back around to Oliver Smith. Final card of the first half. It's a ref look, 2 shots. Blank for home, blank for road. Blank goes to Elijah Lewis. He'll take 2 free throws. 11-24, rolls a 54 and a 13, so he makes 1 of 2. Both players rotate around for the second half, and that is the end of the first half of play here in Pittsburgh. So we count to see if we need to do a score adjustment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do 7 or 8 unscored spaces advances each team 1. 9 or more spaces advances each team 2. So Brooklyn now has 4 track points and 2 free throws. And Pittsburgh has 7 track points and 4 free throws. 7-4. 61-47 at the half. So Brooklyn got 18 points in the second quarter, but 31 points for Pittsburgh, as Pittsburgh now has a 14-point halftime lead. We'll adjust the scoring track 4 + 6 because their trailing is 10. The leading team 7 plus 5 is 12. And we move on to the next piece, which is the third quarter. And we'll just keep right on rolling here in Pittsburgh. Yes result. No yes for Gilbert English. There's 1 for Marshall Sampson. There's a deny. He has a 1, 2, 5, and 6. We'll deny. It's a 6. It's not underlined, so it's just a simple denial of a scoring opportunity. And rotate players out. It's a pick. Nolan Moyer has it for Pittsburgh. Jonathan Brown does not for Brooklyn. Another score on the scoring track for Pittsburgh. And I forgot to move the timeout marker. And Brooklyn will rotate around. Bench cam, it's the coach. It's a timeout. Holmes has to leave the basketball game. So what we're going to do is now have to slide the cards down 2 spots. And Feathers will put in 2 subs. Now remember, in the stack version of the game, you would put the top player on the stack down first. So when you're using either my mat or your own, you have to put the first player here and the second player on the second spot, because he now becomes the active player, and you'll rotate back through this way. So he's done for the remainder of half, so he's out of the game. And the timeout, so we roll 11 to 26 will be an energize. It's a 23, so a basket or track point for Brooklyn, and a rotation out for Pittsburgh, as Brooklyn keeps the ball and retains its ref look and 1. He has a clover symbol. He has no symbol. I believe clover beats no symbol, and so there's an and 1 there. And that's going to be an 11 to 16 on the clank chart. He gets a 52, and that's a third free throw for Brooklyn. Both players rotate out. Lightning is maintained by Brooklyn on the and 1. It's a tip. It's a lightning symbol, so we look only at Brooklyn. He doesn't have tip, so we flip the card over and only look at Pittsburgh for a push, which they have. They score. They take lightning, and Brooklyn rotates around to Chester Poole. Home player with offense reach. He doesn't have it, but it doesn't matter. It's a non-scoring card. Lightning is lost. And it's another timeout. Forgot to shift the timeout marker down here. So it's a single regular timeout with no card discard. So everybody moves down 1. Stan Wojcik goes to the bench to bring on Scott Cherry. And I did forget to mention that the last substitutions for Brooklyn were David Oliver and Clarence Sparks. So timeout, 11 to 31 will be an energize for Pittsburgh. It's a 33. It's a total miss. Both active players rotate out. As we go to a big. Who has big? Gilbert English has big, but Cedric Townsend does not. There's a deny symbol. Townsend denies on a 2, a 3, or a 5. He rolls a 3 and denies the scoring opportunity, but no underline, so no fast break opportunity. It's a net result for Jonathan Brown. He has net. Elijah Lewis has net. Its tiebreaker goes to the visitor, but it is a deny. And Lewis denies on a 3, 5, or 6 and rolls a 6. Also not underlined, so Pittsburgh's defense just playing tremendously here tonight. A couple of denials on back-to-back opportunities. Ref look and 1. Clover versus Clover. It's a tie, so it goes to the home team. Marshall Sampson scores the track point, and an 11-13 is Clank. He makes the free throw. They rotate around as the third quarter comes to an end. We check for the scoring adjustment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not enough to adjust the scores. So Brooklyn has 6 track points and 3 free throws. And Pittsburgh has 10 track points and 5 free throws. Score 10-6. It's 87-69. At the end of 3 quarters, so 22 points for Brooklyn in that quarter, 26 points for Pittsburgh, as they have now built a 19-point lead. They've expanded their 14-point lead, 18-point lead. They've expanded their 14-point lead at halftime and now lead by 18. 6 plus 6 because they're trailing is 12. 10 plus 5 is 15. And it doesn't mean that either team will get there, but it means that Brooklyn does have one more opportunity to score, and it's possible they could score 6, and Pittsburgh could score 2, and we'd have a tie game in a wild and woolly fourth quarter. Let's see what happens. It's a ref look, 2 shots for the trailing team. Sparks, 11-16 is his clank number. He rolls a 32 and a 63 to sink both free throws, and both players rotate around. It's a tip. Chester Poole has it. Sean Forster does not. He can deny on a 2, a 4, or a 5. He rolls a 1. He can also deny on a 1 because he's got a star there. So star, okay. Denial. Pittsburgh denies again. It's the 5th denial of the night, and it's a timeout. It's a timeout. And we forgot to put that up there. Defensive adjustments and discard a card. That's not good for Brooklyn because they're going to need this energize as they bring in Adam Shelton. They're going to need to roll an 11-26 to energize and get that basket because they've lost a card here. Rolls a 31, misses entirely. Both active players rotate out. No thing, and our back-to-back timeouts. So not sure what Stan Wojcik is thinking on the bench over there for the Pittsburgh Blast with a big lead, and the defense is playing very well. But Tyrone James will come into the basketball game, and James, an 11-31, hits the energizer. He rolls a 62. It's complacent, so Brooklyn gets the basket. Pittsburgh rotates out, and Brooklyn gets lightning. Ref look, 2 shots for the visitors. That's Oliver Smith. He'll 11-16 is his clank number, rolls a 22, and rolls a 51, and knocks down 2 more free throws. Unfortunately, those free throws are not advancing the scoring track at all. Home player with offense spark. He does have it, and he scores. That's bad. That's the worst possible result for Brooklyn there, as they've increased their lead, and they have lightning, which they have. He has the wow. Townsend gets another point for Brooklyn, another rotation out another point for Pittsburgh, a rotation out for Brooklyn. It's a lightning grab, which Townsend doesn't have. Then we look at the hoop cam. Yes, Oliver doesn't have it. They both rotate out. Final card of regulation, and this one's pretty much over. It's a pick play. Elijah Lewis has it underlined. Clarence Sparks does not. Could be denied on a 1 or a 3. Rolls a 6. It's another track point, and this game is over. 7, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So each team slides up 1. 8. Got Brooklyn 8 track points and 7 free throws, and Pittsburgh with 14 track points and 5 free throws, 14-8 on that. For 118-96 win. And so Brooklyn gets 27 in the fourth quarter, and Pittsburgh gets 31, so they win the game by 22 points. Final score, once again, Pittsburgh 118, Brooklyn 96. Pittsburgh goes to 2-0 on this young season. Brooklyn falls to 1-2. And before we take off here, I want to note that I did hear the voices on YouTube talking about the black scoring markers on the orange dots and the white ones on the blue dots. Hopefully that made it easier for you to track the game. I've shown you how to do cleanup before for the game, but because I've got the way I have the subs, it's even easier to figure things out. I just take the coach card, always separates the subs from the starters. I just pick up the subs in the order, and I try to think for the next game who that might be. And then the starters are just really simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They go on top of the coach. The team logo card goes there. We flip over Holmes to make sure we deal with him. And then Rocky Feathers comes along and grabs each of the subs in turn. and then grabs up the starters and puts that on there. Just as an FYI before we go, since this is a little longer video, when I do my fact cards, I shuffle the deck. Before I start, I turn half the cards around, then shuffle the deck, and then to further randomize the cards, instead of just dealing them out, I deal them out this way: 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 1, 2, 3, 8. I'll have to re-establish and use these other cards over here, and then do 1, 2, 3, 9, and 1, 2, 3, 10. So I've shuffled them, then I've kind of reshuffled them by starting here and starting with 1. On the second pass, I start the cards here. Third pass, fourth pass, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th, and always just keeping them one over. You're kind of reshuffling each time, and then you just get the cards cinched up here, nice and neat, because I'm a neat freak. And then we put a pile in the center. We move these cards off to the side, and we are golden to go. So that's how I do my shuffling for the hoops cards. After about every 5th or 6th game, what I'll do with the full deck, I'll do the same thing, but I'll do it 6 cards at a time. We'll just do this real quick. I won't do the whole deck, but I'll show you how it works. Again, this is the third pass, so I start with the third card. 2, 4, 5, 6. Fourth pass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Fifth pass, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I'm done, then what I do is I take this deck and I roll a die, and it's odd. So it's odd. This set stays up. So I start with stack 2. I pick up stack 4 and flip them upside down. Then I keep stack 6 straight up. Stack 1 then goes upside down. Stack 3 goes straight up. Stack 5 goes upside down. So I have now taken the whole deck. There'll be 12 cards in each deck. I've now shuffled the deck. I've then shuffled them again and redistributed the cards in a rotational pattern. And that's one of the better ways to shuffle, to really, really randomize your cards. So that's just a tip for you if you're looking for ways to shuffle up cards without having to do riffle shuffles all the time. It is a very random process. It has been verified by a couple of people I know who are either statistics professors or statistics gurus, that that sort of shuffle there, where you do the cards and distribute them in piles and do different things, is actually better than shuffling. You get a better distribution of the cards throughout the deck, and it's much more random. So it's a system I've used going all the way back to other games with card decks. So there's my hint. Once again, I want to remind you, final score this evening here in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Blast 118, the Brooklyn Kings 96. Pittsburgh is 2-0, Brooklyn 1-2 as we move on in this 2022 USBA season. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, we wish each and every one of you good night and good basketball. So long, everybody.